Okay, for number 21, we have dy over dx is equal to the sum of y and y to the third. And here we're going to have a Bernoulli equation that is nonlinear. And if I set things up, so we have dy over dx minus y is equal to y to the third, or we have as 1 times y to the third, where we have n is equal to 3. And for what we have, again, for p of x, okay, that's going to be the coefficient of the first order y term, so it'll be -1. And for q of x, okay, that is what we had to be multiplying y cubed. Okay, so we have q of x is equal to 1. And again, we have that n is equal to 3. And setting things up whereupon I can utilize, okay, the substitution variable. So we have that v is equal to y to the 1 minus n. In this case, we have y to the 1 minus 3. And we have is equal to y to the -2. Okay, and if I go from what I have here, so you got v is equal to y to the -2. And if I just go out to what I have for y to the first, I can take both sides and raise to the -1/2 degree. Okay, so we're going to have, in effect, we have v to the -1/2 is equal to y. And just setting the stage whereupon I can use v substitution. So I have that y is equal to v to the -1/2, and taking the derivative with respect to x. So I'm going to have dy over dx is equal to what is going to be -1/2 of v to the -3/2 dv over dx. And for what I have replacing dy over dx and everything else, what I have in this equation in terms of the substitution variable. So we have for dy over dx, okay, so I got -1/2 of v to the -3/2 dv over dx. And I have minus y, so it's going to be minus v to the -1/2. And for y to the third, now y is v to the -1/2 and cubing, so this will be v to the -3/2. And to get this equation where the leading term is going to be just dv over dx, I'm going to multiply this equation by -2 times v to the 3/2. Okay. So for what we're going to have in the rewrite, okay, so we're going to have the first term, okay, that's going to be dv over dx, and negative times a negative is a positive, so that's going to be plus 2 v to the -1/2 times v to the 3/2 will be v to the 2/2, which will be v, and we have is equal to -2. V to the 3/2 minus 3/2 is v to the 0, so we got -2 times 1, which is -2. And we have in terms of the substitution variable, now the coefficient of the first order v term is going to be at 2. Okay, so you have, looking at the integrating factor, so we're going to have e to the integral of rho x dx, and that is equal to e to the integral of 2 dx, and so we have e to the 2x, and taking what we have in the standard form in the substitution variable, so you have e to the 2x, okay, you have times the quantity of dv over dx plus 2v is equal to -2 times e to the 2x And for what we're going to have on the left-hand side, if you were to distribute, we would have the derivative nx of taking the product of the integrating factor, which we have at e to the 2x, times the dependent variable, which we have with the substitution letter v. Okay, so we have, again, equal to negative 2 times e to the 2x, and integrating on both sides. Okay, so we have e to the 2x times v is equal to the integral of negative 2 times e to the 2x dx. And for what we have in following through, okay, so we got e to the 2x times v, and we have is equal to what is going to be the negative of e to the 2x followed by the constant, and isolating v. Okay, so negative e to the 2x divided by e to the 2x, that's going to be a negative 1. And we have plus c times e to the negative 2x, and setting things back in terms of x and y. V was equal to y to the negative 2. So here we have y to the negative 2 is equal to negative 1, plus c times e to the negative 2x. Or in this case, we have 1 over y squared is equal to negative 1, plus c times e to the negative 2x. And if I take the reciprocal of both sides, one way that I can display the final result is to say that we have y squared is equal to the reciprocal, that we have negative 1 plus c times e to the 2x, or the reciprocal of c times e to the negative 2x minus 1. All right, we can just leave this as y squared is equal to 1 over all of negative 1 plus c times e to the negative 2x.